In small villages, night comes suddenly.
There's no city roar to fade away, no streetlights to push back the dark.
It's a quiet, heavy blanket that falls without noise, without warning.
And sometimes, it doesn't come alone.
The stories I'm about to tell you came to me from different people who have never met.
They live miles and worlds apart.
But the places they described,
The feelings they shared.
were strangely, unnervingly similar.
These aren't just ghost stories.
Their whispers carried on the wind, echoes of something that refuses to be forgotten. Join me as we explore these tales from the quiet corners of the world, where the past is never truly gone.
Our first story takes us to a place that's slowly being reclaimed by nature.
Fewer than 20 houses remain, huddled together against the vast empty fields.
It's a quiet village, but when autumn arrives and the days grow shorter, the silence at night becomes something else entirely. It becomes watchful.
The villagers have a rule, an unspoken law that has kept them safe for generations. After the sun sets, you do not go outside.
No matter what you hear, because at night, something begins to call them.
One by one, by name.
The voice is soft, almost gentle.
It sounds familiar, like a friend you haven't seen in years, or a family member you've longed to hear from.
It's a voice filled with warmth, a voice that promises comfort, a voice that feels like coming home. It's a perfect imitation of love.
But there is one simple, unbreakable rule. If you hear it,
You must not answer.
most people obey.
They lock their doors, draw their curtains, and ignore the sweet, pleading calls that drift through the darkness. But a few years ago, one man couldn't resist.
His name was Thomas. He was a kind man, a farmer who had lived in the village his entire life. One evening, as he sat by his window, he heard it. "Thomas, Thomas, please come outside." His wife tried to stop him. She begged him to stay, reminding him of the old stories.
But he shook his head, a strange, distant look in his eyes.
"That's my mother," he whispered.
I know her voice. His mother, you see, had been gone for more than 10 years.
He stepped out into the chilly night air, closing the door softly behind him.
His wife watched from the window, her heart pounding, as he walked towards the edge of the village, disappearing into the shadows.
She waited all night, but he didn't return. The calling stopped. The next morning, the villagers found him. He was sitting on a stone by the side of the road, just where the village path meets the open fields. He was staring blankly at the rising sun.
He was alive, physically unharmed.
But when they spoke to him,
He didn't respond.
when his wife ran to him, crying his name, he didn't even seem to recognize her. From that day forward, Thomas never spoke another word.
He was there, but the person they knew, the man who had answered his mother's call, was gone forever.
What did he see out there in the dark? And what part of him did the voice take in exchange for his silence?
Now, let's travel to another village, a place nestled at the foot of a mountain range. This story isn't about a voice, but about a light.
On the very edge of the village, where the road turns to dirt and the wilderness begins, stands an old wooden house. It's been abandoned for decades. The paint is peeling, the windows are boarded up, and the garden is a tangled mess of weeds. There is no electricity connected to the house.
The wires were cut down 40 years ago. There are no generators, no batteries, no candles.
Yet, every single night, exactly at the stroke of midnight, a warm yellow light appears in one of the upstairs windows.
It glows steadily for about an hour, and then, just as mysteriously as it appeared, it vanishes.
The old-timers in the village know the story.
They say a young woman named Elora once lived there.
Her husband was a soldier, sent off to a war in a distant land.
Every evening, she would light a lamp and place it in the window, a beacon to guide him home through the darkness. She promised she would keep the light on for him until he returned. Months turned into years.
One day, a man in a uniform arrived with a folded flag and a letter. The death notice. Her husband was never coming back. The village mourned with her, but Elora refused to believe it. She continued her nightly ritual, convinced he was just lost and would find his way home if only he could see her light. She lived out the rest of her days in that house alone. Neighbors said that even in her old age, frail and weak, she would climb the stairs every night to light the lamp after she passed away. The house was sold, but no one ever stayed long. New owners complained of strange noises, of a constant feeling of being watched, of a profound, unshakable sadness that permeated the walls.
Eventually, the house was abandoned completely.
It has been empty for more than 40 years, but the light remains.
Some brave teenagers have tried to investigate, creeping up to the property at midnight. They never manage to get inside. They say that as you get closer, you can hear things.
Not screams or moans, but something far more unsettling.
The soft, slow creak of floorboards from the second floor.
The sound of deliberate, tired footsteps, pacing back and forth in the room with the light. A silent vigil that even death could not end.
Our final story takes us near a village bordered by a dense, ancient forest.
It's a beautiful forest, especially in the daytime.
Sunlight filters through the canopy, birds sing, and a gentle breeze rustles the leaves.
It doesn't look frightening or menacing, but the villagers have a deep-seated respect for it, a respect born from fear.
No one, absolutely no one, enters that forest after sunset.
It's not because of wild animals or treacherous terrain. It is because the forest has a strange habit. Not everyone who goes in comes back out.
At least, not right away.
Over the decades, there have been numerous cases of people vanishing within its trees.
Search parties would find no tracks, no clues, nothing.
The person would simply be gone. But the truly bizarre part is what happens next. Sometimes, years later, they would return. One man, a hunter named Finn, disappeared in the forest in the 1980s. His family grieved and eventually moved on.
5 years later, he walked out of the woods, looking exactly the same as the day he left. He hadn't aged a day.
His clothes were not torn, and he wasn't hungry or hurt.
When his wife saw him, she fainted.
When he was taken back to his home, he looked at it with confusion.
He didn't recognize his own children, who were now 5 years older.
He remembered leaving for a short hunt that morning, and to him, only a few hours had passed.
He had no memory of the intervening 5 years. It was as if he had stepped out of time itself. This has happened more than once. A young woman who went looking for herbs returned 3 years later, believing she had only been gone for an afternoon.
She couldn't understand why her fiancé had married someone else. The old villagers had a saying about it. They warned the children, be careful of the deep woods. The forest doesn't take your body. It takes your time. It preserves you, keeps you safe within its timeless embrace, and then returns you to a world that has moved on without you.
You come back whole, but you're a ghost in your own life, a living memory in a world you no longer fit into. These villages forget many things as generations pass. Old feuds, forgotten holidays, the names on weathered gravestones.
But some things refuse to fade. Some places seem to hold onto memories, playing them back like a scratched record.
The voice of a long-lost mother, the light of a promise that can't be broken, a forest that steals moments from your life. So I have to ask, are these just scary stories passed down to keep children from wandering off in the dark? Or do some places truly remember more than they should?
Tell me what you think in the comments below.
Do you have a story from a small town or village that defies explanation? I'd love to hear it.
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed these tales, be sure to like and subscribe for more journeys into the unknown.
Stay safe out there.